jump right into it. Big night Thursday. Really a big night for us here at Ceiling versus Floor. We've been talking about this for the last few months. Go after those Millie Maker tickets. Look how many we've accumulated here. All of that's tickets. We did not enter any of our own money there. That's tickets that we have earned over the last few months by getting tickets. We've been piling them up. Look, we got 69 $10 tickets for the Thursday night showdown. We're going to try to get a few more. I may buy some. This is a 150 max tournament. You always want to try to max it out if you can. You know, I know I'll be spending almost over $1,000 if I were to buy the rest of them, but or almost $1,000, shall I say. That you really want to try to max them out. I got 81 on Sunday, the $5 Millie Maker. And let's just go over some builds. You know, I'm about to start hand building these one at a time. You know, a lot of people that max enter 150s use optimizers. I'm not a big 150 player. We play much different style tournaments, but when we get all of these tickets, this is when I like to play, shoot for the home run. I mean, we're shooting for $1 million or try to come in the top 20, you know, would be great and make a run at this thing. And we're going to hand build these lineups. First thing you want to do, get a feel for it. Let's see what the Vegas line is. Okay, right here we got Tampa, Dallas. Tampa's an 8-point favorite. Defending Super Bowl champs. They came on strong last year at the end. Moderate season throughout. I don't know what I can't remember. 10-6, 11-5, somewhere in there. It just made a run. Beat our beloved Saints in a divisional game, or the NFC Championship, the one before it. And here they are again, opening up the season. The money line minus 365. That's pretty strong favorites. That right off the bat tells me, you know, if you're going to stack Dallas, that's going to be a lot less owned, that's a good thing. But Vegas, the odds makers, they feel like this game could get out of hand for Tampa, which we're going to make a majority of our lineups Tampa heavy. Over and under 52. That's pretty high over and under. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 7 or an 8 on how high an over-under gets. So they're looking for this game to be pretty high scoring. And, you know, they're talking 32-20. Tampa is kind of what they're, you know, I guess it would be 28-21, somewhere in there. Anyway, just call it 30-20 in favor of Tampa. That's about roundabout where the odds makers are feeling this is going to go. So let's build some lineups. Let's build one based on straight Tampa Bay winning the game by 8 and the game going 52 points total. So let's scroll down to our first $10 one. And I'm going to have to edit all of these. I hate to do it right now because we're going to get some late news. One of the big ones right off the top is, will Giovanni Bernard play? You know, that's not really the biggest news in the world, but when you're making 100 lineups, that's pretty important. Okay, so let's just clear it out. I had one set just to go ahead and start entering everything. Now, when you're trying to hit the million, you know, you're playing against 500,000 to 1 million people usually, or the fields on this. The last thing you want to do is hit the million and tie with 50 to 100 people. You know, you got lucky enough to hit it. You don't want to only win $10,000 or something like that because it's chopped 100 times. So there's a couple ways you got to kind of approach this thing. You know, you're okay to chop it a bunch of ways if it's a small tournament or a double up, but when you're shooting for these big ones, you want to win it outright or maybe a one-time chop. So let's just, safest, most simplistic lineup in the world, thinking that Tampa's going to win this game handily and it'll be relatively a shootout. Go Brady in the captain with his most notable pass catchers here with Evans and Godwin. This is very chalky. You know, so now you got to figure Brady's going to jump out to a pretty significant lead by going through the air. Let's just say Brady throws for 200 yards in the first half with a couple touchdowns to these guys. They got a pretty significant lead. Maybe they just pound it out in the back end of the game since they're winning. Pound it out with Ronald Jones, which would be a very, he'd be kind of off the board. He'll be low owned. Then you could go Bucs D. That leaves you 5,600 to run it back with. You got to play. This is a 5-1 stack if you were going to go this. You got to play a Dallas guy. You can't play all Bucs. So that leaves you with, you could get Schultz or Jarwin could get some garbage run. And boom, there you go. Leaving 400 on the salary. You got a little leverage with Jones and Jarwin. This would probably chop, but again, this is not our expertise making a gazillion lineups for the Millie Maker, so how many times would a lineup this chalky chop? It's hard to say. Yeah, you are leaving some salary. I mean, if you wanted to chop less, you could simply switch it from Jarwin to Schultz. Now you're leaving 1,000. Let's just say we're going to chop 10 times. You're going to probably only chop once now, if at all. I mean, that's leaving 1,000 on the table. On a 5-1 stack, that's pretty unique, as they call it. And you could run it back with anybody here if you were going to pick this. You could go Jarwin or Schultz. Maybe they throw it a bunch in the fourth quarter with some check downs to Pollard, and Pollard falls in the end zone. I mean, any of those could happen. Maybe they don't play Zeke because they're down 15, 20. In the last 5 minutes, and they just check it down. What you gotta do is you gotta play the scenario in your head. What could happen? So this is this lineup set up that the Bucs are gonna win this game handily, and they're gonna win it through the air with Tom Brady. And I'll just set it with Jarwin for now. Update entry. So now we have 2 lineups: 68 of this one, 1 of the other one. All right. Let's set another one. A strong belief that the Bucs win the game handedly, but we're going to captain a receiver this time. So let's captain Evans or Godwin. You're going to definitely want to have, if you're making multiple lineups, you're going to definitely want a few Evans and a few Godwin. They could go either way. They're a coin flip to us. Typically, the captain will match with the quarterback, but it doesn't happen all the time, and it happens more, not quite as often as you would think. And if you don't match the captain with his quarterback, it will be more of a unique lineup. So with that being said, just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and keep Brady with it here. Again, let's just say they're going to win this game handily. Let's say Fournette rushes one in. What you're trying to do is try to guess all the touchdowns. It's kind of what you're doing. You could go Bucs D, or you could go to kicker. What's his name? Is it Suckup? Yeah. Dallas's kicker. If you're going to make a bunch of lineups, I would favor Tampa's kicker and Tampa's defense over Dallas's just on the Vegas odds, but I'm making a lot of lineups. So if I make 5 with a Tampa D, I'm going to make 1 or 2 with the Dallas D, and vice versa with the kicker. All right, so let's just say we go a 4-2 stack here. They win this game handedly through the air. Let's try, Gronk could work. The guy that we're kind of on is O.J. Howard, very cheap. So what's that leave you? 11-8. It'd be hard to play Prescott here without anybody else. He would have to run in a touchdown. If you played Prescott naked right there, that means they'd only put up about 10 points and Prescott would have ran one in, which is certainly possible. I mean, I don't know. Let's move Howard to Gronk. What's that leave us with? 8,600. And then I like Cooper or CD or Gallup here. That all makes sense. Probably CD in the slot. Again, you're looking for that garbage time, fourth quarter, 6-7 minutes left. Dallas is getting beat handedly. They come down the field in the big prevent defense. CD catches 6 passes on one drive and then falls in the end zone. It could get there. Okay. Now we have 3 lineups set. The one with 67 entries, that one, and that one. So let's go back. Let's set one for maybe a low-scoring game. Tampa still wins handedly, but let's go low-scoring. So we set the first one, the second one. Now we're on to the third one. Let's clear it out. Now let's put, maybe they pound the ball with Fournette. Let's say they split the carries and pound it with Jones too. Now, if you're going to get a double running back, just a punch you in the mouth game, odds are Bucs D is there. Let's say Brady don't throw a lot of touchdowns. Maybe he just throws one to Mike Evans. Okay. Now we're going to run it back, I guess, with some pass catchers on the Dallas side. Let's see what we got. We got a lot of money now. You could go Prescott and Cooper. Maybe they scored to last. Maybe they throw 2 garbage touchdowns at the end of the game or something. You're leaving $1,700 on the table there. That if this thing hits, it's hitting for this is going to be solo, leaving that much. So I do not recommend leaving $1,700 if you're just building a lineup or 2. But if you're building 100 and you want to hit it big, you got to leave. You got to do some different things. Now let's set one here where you're not leaving a lot of salary, but it's going to be a very unique lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4. A unique lineup. So let's say, you don't need to come way off the grid and captain somebody crazy to get unique. You just need them in the flex. Let's just say we go Godwin there, and let's say we got him matched with Brady. Let's say Zeke has a good game. Say CeeDee Lamb's has a good game. Now we're going to have to get tricky. These $200 guys. Up to about $3,000. Noah Brown's got COVID. We got to get the injury report. I don't know who else. We don't know the injury report. Yeah, there'll be a guy or 2 missing that's relevant. But there's no big injuries right now. But Cedric Wilson is the 4 over there. Let's say we go Cedric here, and let's move Elliott to Dak because you got 2 receivers. You could play AB here or Gronk. Either one's fine. This is no running backs. This is all skill positions, all receivers. This matches up with a shootout. This makes sense with a 52 over-under. Godwin could easily be the captain. Let's say they double Mike Evans the whole time, leaving AB and Godwin open in the slot. They're up big. Prescott makes a little comeback at the end, throwing it to CD and Wilson. This certainly, it correlates, certainly makes sense. So I hope you're just getting the gist of it. You're trying to tell a story here. You want to build your lineup based on what the outcome of the game is that you feel like. Now, let's go against the grain. Let's say Dallas wins this game. Let's say Tampa's playing from behind in the fourth quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's build one saying Dallas is in control of the game, and Tampa's playing comeback in the fourth. So, again, the most chalky would be Prescott and Elliott, and let's say Amari, and let's say Tampa's got to come back, prevent defense, I like flex guys. Godwin runs some flex. Typically, Evans is on the outside. AB. That leaves 2,200. Okay. Right here. Boom. So, we're only leaving 200, but we're going against the grain with the Cowboys winning the game, and we're playing a very low-owned person in Gio. This would probably be chopped, especially with Dak and the captain. But Gio's going to be where your leverage at. He's going to be very small owned. If it were to be chopped, it wouldn't be a gazillion times. So this makes sense. So Dallas gets an early lead. Maybe a pass Prescott to Elliott. Elliott has 100 yards rushing. Maybe they control the clock. Dak runs one in, whatever. Maybe a couple TDs, a TD to Elliott, TD to Cooper. Dak runs one in, and then Brady's got to play comeback. And Godwin and AB get a lot of catches. Gio gets a couple, 5 catches and a garbage time with 4 minutes left, with Dallas winning the game by 15 going into 4 minutes. And that's what you got to really think about is who's going to be winning the game by 15 with 5 minutes left, because the team winning is going to be pounding the ball, running it, and the team losing is typically going to be against a prevent D, a lot of check downs, a lot of underneath routes. And that's when the full PPR can come into play with somebody with AB and Gio coming back. I hope you guys get the gist of it. We're going to be setting lineups Thursday morning. I'm going to be setting lineups all day. It's going to take forever. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set right now. I may not even play any of these. I'm just trying to go over it with you. These all make sense with their correlation. I'm just trying to talk you through what you need to be thinking when you're setting the lineups of how the game may play out. So wish us luck, guys. We're going to be wishing you guys luck. And again, I don't advise buying 150 tickets for the Millie Maker, but I do advise doing what we did and qualify for these little satellites, winning tickets for the Millie Maker. We literally accumulated this, 70 tickets plus the 81 for Sunday. That's almost 150 total Millie Maker tickets in just 2 or 3 months. So it's very easy to do. We crushed it during the preseason, just killing the tickets. And I would recommend all throughout this entire NFL year, attack those tickets. And we attack it in the little MLB showdowns that we go over here at Ceiling versus Floor all the time. So good luck. We'll be back. We're going to have plenty of articles this week, gearing you up for the Thursday game plus the Sunday Classic.